Hey, and welcome to another podcast, Valley Sunday. I am one of your hosts, Chris Paco.
And I'm your other host, Jeff Cameron.
How's it going, Jeff?
It's going great. Good to be back. How about you, Paco?
Going good. I'm stoked. We're sliding out of the jellies. I think this one we slide out of the marmalades, and we're starting to get into some jams.
We're going to slide over the halfway point of the countdown, in fact. And the quality goes up from here, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a nonstop party for the Randomatic Countdown here. Because today we are cutting from number 89 down to number 70. And we got some gems in there.
Yes, sir. You want to take the lead on this first one, Paco? This was something we discovered together, more or less, when we pulled it out the hat.
Yep. So here we are at number 89. We've got I Believe You.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. I believe you on a sunny day. I believe you chase the clouds away. I believe you.
By our main man, Peter Tork. And I gotta say,
I think the monkeys take turns being our main man.
It's true. It's true. But for this song, I feel no one could have pulled it off other than Peter Tork.
It's very Peter.
It is. It's a song that's so weird that I'm like a big fan of it, but I can definitely understand why others might question it as a Monkees song.
Yeah, for sure. But in terms of a Monkees song and a Peter song, it does pretty much everything you expect from a Peter song. It hangs out deep inside too. It's a bit weird, a bit silly, musically very cool. It's like it's a strong Peter song.
Yeah, it's got that cool like 1, 2, 3 waltz kind of thing going for it, which is like weird and almost unsettling, but like in the best way possible. It just makes you be like, oh my goodness, this is interesting.
I notice there's a number of unsettling songs coming up in the countdown.
There is. But I feel this song's definitely underrated in the Monkees catalog, especially because like we forgot it existed essentially.
For real.
And then when we heard it was like, where does this come from?
Yeah, we found out about it back on episode 42 of our little show, Podcast Valley Sunday, where we pulled it out of the Wool Hat of Mystery. And the Wool Hat of Mystery was pretty good to us that day. It gave us this first song we're talking about today. It gave us the last song we're talking about today. And it gave us the last song we'll be talking about on the countdown itself.
Wow, that is a big day.
For real.
Every once in a while, the Wool Hat really hooked us up.
For real. And sometimes it was not nice to us.
Exactly.
But the version I found for our online version of the Randomatic Countdown is actually a live, like a bootleg sounding live version from about 1997.
Yeah.
So you want to hear the boys do it on stage? There it is.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a gem. I wondered like when it came up in concerts, what people were like, oh, good, this song. It's like, what is this song? And then when they left, they're like, what was that song? That was a good one there.
Well, the Monkees being the Monkees, there are fans who went to that show and like had just finished listening to that song in the car.
Yeah.
Because if they're at a Justice era Monkees show, they're probably familiar with the Justice era Monkees songs.
Yeah, it's true. And the Justice album itself is like not a bad album, but it kind of sticks out from the catalog. It's the first one that was made not in like the 60s or very early 70s. And so there's like weird mishmashy songs and stuff you totally didn't expect, and hidden gems. And this is, I feel, definitely one of the hidden gems off of Justice.
Definitely. It's not like aggressively terrible like some music might be. It's mostly kind of there, and I think we love it more for what it is than the content of it.
Yeah. It's
the four boys singing and playing songs together.
Yeah.
But I think we've said enough about I Believe You here at number 89.
Yes. Awesome. Which oddly enough brings us to number 88.
How about that?
Through the Looking Glass.
You call my name, then you run for protection. I reach out to hold you, but it's just a reflection. Through the looking glass.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, Through the Looking Glass, it's a little plinky plunky for me. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But Mickey sounds great on it, and he hits the highest of notes on the outro. It's why dogs hate this song. He hits that note so high that it cuts right through you, but like in a good way. You're more like amazed he's putting his voice up that high.
For sure. And it's like crazy catchy. It's like a Boyce and Hart jam with an assist from Red Baldwin, whomever that is. And it's kind of the poppiness, but that weird kind of layer of foreboding and disillusionment that kind of takes over a lot of the Monkees music post-show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
For the version I found on the Countdown, it uses footage from the Alias Mickey Dolenz episode, like the gangster bar fight scene, and it also features, it's an alternate version with a very cool fuzz guitar lead on top.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it sounds great.
Yeah.
And it looks good on the show. And I think it's a pretty strong Monkey song, and I think we might have ankled it a little. It might be a little lower than I think, but the plinky plunkiness kind of puts it where it is, near the middle of the pack.
Yeah, agreed.
And the similar kind of ominous dread undertone of it is kind of what prompted us to slip it up to our song at number 87, Mommy and Daddy, which we pulled way back on episode 3, the first day of us recording Podcast Valley Sunday.
Ask your mommy and daddy what happened to the Indian. How come they're all living in places with too much snow and too much sun?
Yeah, it was an early pick from the Wool Had a Mystery and an early favorite of mine when I first heard it. I think because it has a different tone to it, and it was one of the first Monkey songs I heard that had that tone.
Yes.
And it's a like heavy, harder hitting song than some of the Monkees songs. And again, has that Native American vibe to it brought by Mickey at the time.
Yes. Very tribal, rhythmic vibe, but it's also paired with those sort of cheerful horns, which kind of mask what's going on in the lyrics.
Exactly.
And on the Countdown, I found that other alternate version. I think Mickey mentions it in his book where he talks about JFK, among other things.
Ask your mommy and daddy who really killed JFK. Walk-ta, tick-a-ta, toot-toot. Walk-ta, tick-a-ta, toot-toot. Walk-ta, tick-a-ta.
The lyric that was kept from the song that got onto the song that made the album was "Does the soldier care who he kills?" And that was like the least controversial lyric of the other version. You gotta find it. You gotta listen to it because it is dark and heavy.
Ask your daddy, why doesn't that soldier care who he kills?
It's got that dark, heavy tone that you're saying until like the end where it gets explodes into a peppy number.
Yeah. And like on the released version was "Tell your mommy and daddy you love them anyway."
Yeah.
Like they're living a lie is that's the repeating line of the end of this cheerful Monkey song. And I think this is the kind of Monkey song that prompted the label to tell the boys that they got to put out songs that are good, clean fun. Yeah. We're going to talk about that kind of thing again a little later on, I believe.
Yep. You hear the title and right away you're like, what is this? What? Mm-hmm. Really? And then you hear the song, you're like, oh my goodness, this is this is going deeper than Last Train to Clarksville kind of stuff.
Yeah, and just to actually cover ourselves on our details we provide, it's sung by Mickey Dolenz, written by Mickey Dolenz. It was on Monkees Present. I think I get it wrong every time, but it could be either one. It's a present from the remaining Monkees to us. They present it to us, and they are three of them are present. The present Monkees are the three of them, and it's also funny I mentioned it. It's the B-side to Good Clean Fun.
So with talking about killing JFK and does that soldier care who he kills, what else would you want next then? A Christmas Party here at number 86.
Now you've heard what some people say. Wish every day could be Christmas Day. I don't know, that might be too much. One Christmas party a year is enough.
That's right. There's a party going on.
I love the intro of the guys taken from the Christmas episode of the show, which is one of my favorite parts of the show. They're having so much fun, and it just seems like a riot to have been on that show.
I don't know who this guy is or this guy here. This guy here is always doing this to everybody. This is fun.
Absolutely. And I think we kind of observed when we were talking about it that it's the only time like a snippet from the show made it onto a Monkees album.
Yeah.
Which is weird that it like never occurred to them. Like, you know, okay, they're going to put the songs from the records in the show for sure. Why not cross it back the other way and have sort of the fun stuff from the show? It's weird they kept it separate. Maybe it didn't occur to anybody that was kind of possible, or maybe it kind of took a lot of doing back in the day, technology, what it was. But the only snippet of a show that they sort of bottled and stuck in a song.
Yeah, the only other time you could say that was like the sound clips in Head from the movie.
Yes.
But that's it.
They got onto the possibility of that. And it's weird. Like they never treated the songs like the soundtrack to the show per se.
No.
There was kind of separation. On the very first album, they have a little TV advertisement on the back. But other than that, it was not like, they kind of kept it separate.
Yeah, which was probably them trying to be more of a band than a TV show band. So they didn't want any cross-pollination between the two.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you noticed it in their attitude towards the show in the episodes recorded before they went to the studio and made Headquarters, and the episodes after they recorded and toured and they were back, and it was like going back to high school.
Yeah, exactly. This song has the same vibe as like Good Times. Like it has that 60s feel to it, but it's not like a parody.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can identify with One Christmas Party a Year is Enough.
For sure. That's a grown-up sentiment, if ever there was one.
A universal grown-up feeling of just, you know what, I'm good now. I don't want to do any more Christmas parties.
No joke.
And if you think Christmas parties, good times, then you're going to love this next song at number 85, because it is also good times.
There's a good time coming on. I can feel it in my bones. Said a good time coming on. I can tell it won't be long till there's dancing in the streets again. Music everywhere. There'll be people wanting people, all laughter everywhere.
Here is your crown, king of the Segway.
It worked perfect. It's Good Times, like a nice rock and roll throwback that sets the tone for the Good Times album, essentially.
Absolutely. And it's a Harry Nilsson number, which he contributed a bunch of songs. And not going to lie, we're going to hear a lot from Harry this episode.
Yeah.
And good friend of Mickey Dolenz at the time. And here, I think it didn't get too far past the demo stage back in the 60s. And we get to hear Harry singing on it on the Good Times album with Mickey.
There's a good time coming on. I can feel it in my bones. Said a good time coming on. I can tell it won't be long.
It's pretty wild, and it sounds like a lot of fun. And it's the, if I'm not mistaken, it's the only non-Monkees lead vocal on a Monkees album.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, probably is, for sure. It's definitely a song you could hear the Monkees playing in the 60s.
Yes.
And it really fits them. And it's obvious because it's from the 60s and it's written for them, essentially. And the guitar solo is really cool in it as well.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of tracks from back then and some newer tracks they added during the Good Time sessions themselves. But it's a rocker. Mm-hmm. It really sets the tone of the combination of the old and the modern that is like the fabric of the Good Times album.
Yeah, it's really great. It's Good Times. But,
What more can you say, folks?
Exactly.
We pulled it back on episode 23 of Podcast Valley Sunday, and we dig it. And and we dig it enough to put it right around the middle of our countdown.
Yeah, exactly. Which is saying something when the countdown's like 170 songs almost.
It is a bunch of tunes.
So that takes us into number 84 here with Early Morning Blues and Greens.
A distant night bird mocks the sun. I wake as I have always done.
It's a nifty one.
It is. It's got that weird mystical organ solo. That's like the greatest part of the song. And it's also like a mellow vibe overall with this one.
Absolutely. It's a Jack Keller and Diane Hildebrand composition. It's also the title track of Diane Hildebrand's only album. So she does her own version of it. And Peter was probably the biggest fan of this song. And he had hoped to sing this song himself. But Davey kind of took it over and really sold it. Like Davey is like doing an acting job on this song.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of takes you there. And Peter admits it. And that's Peter harmonizing on the version of this that appears on Headquarters. And it's really good. And Peter does his own version of it with his band Shoe Suede Blues. If you're a big enough Monkees fan to be listening to a podcast about the Monkees, you might own this CD or tape. I don't know. And they did finally play it live with Peter on lead vocals in 2012, shortly after Davy Jones passed away.
Oh.
So I wonder if it was like almost like a tribute to him, or Peter finally had a chance to say, "Fuck it, I'm doing the song," without Davy getting all pissy about it.
Yeah.
It could be two things.
So I wonder if like they called Peter and were like, Peter, we've got some bad news. Davey died. He's like, oh no. Oh, so can I sing Early Morning Blues and Greens?
This is first thought. Absolutely.
Let's get on the road. I got to get this song out of me. But it's
and no joke. And that's when Mike rejoins them.
Yeah.
It's like, how hard was Davy Jones to work with? The connections with Axl Rose go deeper than the dance, I think.
Yeah, true enough. But I bet you with Mike, it was like, no, I'll do it one day. Don't worry. We'll all get together one day. And then when Davey passed away, he was like, oh my goodness. Like, okay, I guess I better do this because.
You know what? You might have touched on something there that might have signaled Mike the finality of certain things and how you keep putting it off, but you can't put it off forever because we're not around forever.
Yeah. And because of Davy Jones's shocking, like he was, quite young essentially when he passed away. And so it was on nobody's radar. With Peter was sick, with Mike was sick, but with Davy, it was just all of a sudden you got hit with this.
Yeah. He was still active on the road, riding horses. Like, he was not sick.
No, it's very strange what happened there. And you're right. Yeah, it's probably Mike was like, okay, holy smokes, this really does put a point on this and what we had here. And I really want to be a part of it again. And yeah, it's unfortunate how it happened.
That might be it. For sure.
Well, on that awesome note, let's go down to number 83 on Don't Call on Me, which is what Mike had been saying up until Davy Jones passed away.
Don't call on me when you're feeling footloose and fancy free.
It's an interesting song. It plays a similar role on Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones that the previous song, Early Morning Blues and Greens, plays on the Headquarters album.
Yeah.
Kind of this vibe change, kind of really something loungy and mellow.
Yeah, as you say, it's a really cool mellow tune. For me, it's like in the same vein-ish as We Go Along.
Yeah.
In a little bit. But it's not superb, but it's not like garbage by any means.
No, it's true. And I love this stuff at the start where it's like you're setting the scene at a bar and Mickey does a little voiceover about the pump room high above Chicago at the Palmer House, which are two separate locations in Chicago that actually do exist. But they weren't actually there. They're pretending to be there. They're in Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then also, I think during the fade, you hear Peter say, "Check, please."
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a great song that to play like in the late afternoon in the summertime on a day when you're like having good times with friends, and it's about time to get the barbecue going. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's like, all right, let's put the song on. Let's keep. It's not like a keep the party going song, but it's like let's keep the vibe rolling song.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
one for that, I'd say.
An evening number.
Yeah, not night. You don't want afternoon, like a golden hour, like the sun's starting
There
to
we
set,
go.
and it's like, all right, we should start making the burgers.
Yeah, buddy. And Mike has a pre-Monkeys version out there recorded.
Don't call on me when you're feeling footloose and fancy free.
But it's a similar deal, but obviously it's just like Mike. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
And Robert Rafelson on the piano on this one.
Oh, nice.
Another crossover from the TV world showing up on their records. And the version I found for the online Randomatic Countdown is the footage is them in the weird little cars driving around with the birds
Yep.
in the UK and like running out of gas or something and getting harassed by the bobbies.
Yep. Classic.
Tremendous. And Davies tooling around town in a top hat.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? This is like Peter Mayhew walking around London Piccadilly Circus with a Chewbacca mask on.
Yeah.
Like, I dare you to recognize me for my role as Fagin and all of that.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
don't recognize me, love? What is this? In case you didn't know me from the Monkees with these three Yanks.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I wonder, if they went to England, what it was like at first, or if they were always, had a following there. Because when we talked about when the Monkees in Paris, it was like in Paris, no one knew who the Monkees were, so they had to pay these girls to like chase them around, and people were just like, "What's going on here?" So I wonder how it worked in England.
For real.
This will bring us down now to number 82. Always a favorite, Cuddly Toy.
Problematic.
You're not the only charity light that was left in the night and gave up without a fight. You're not the only cuddly toy that was ever enjoyed by any boy.
So the video for this, though, like in the show, might have some of the best Davy dancing in the entire series. This is what Axl Rose watched and was like, I want to learn that dance, because he's killing it with his moves. He almost looks like a jittery marionette.
It's true.
I mean that as a compliment too, but like he's flowing. He's like water in water. He's just a part of his environment.
Water in water. Yes, you're kind of right. And we're going to hear from some more peak Davy Jones a little later on. Also by the hand of Mr. Harry Nilsson, like this tune. But the part of the show footage I like about this, aside from Davy, is the rest of the guys barely giving a shit.
Oh man,
about what's going on.
I feel like Mike is a marionette. Like they had to drag him in with ropes to sit on that piano to play. Like he wants to be anywhere else than where he is. It looks like.
And something tells me like Mickey would have preferred to have sung this song, but because Harry Nilsson's his homeboy and whatever, but it's something about it just fits Davy, especially the arrangement and the vibe.
Yeah. Oh,
and
definitely.
they just lean into it with the vaudeville attire and the whole thing, and really make a dance hall number out of it. And this is extra Davy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a sweet little ditty. You'd have no idea what it's actually about if you're just listening to the song.
Yeah, it's problematic. If you sit there and read the lyrics and just think about it for a minute, it's a nasty, nasty little number.
It is. But Harry Nilsson, he'll push that envelope.
For real. And I think he made $40,000 on the publishing alone.
Whew.
For having a monkey song that made it onto the show.
Wow, that's all right.
Yeah, not bad. It probably went up his nose, but anyway.
100%. But money well spent, I guess. If you're gonna spend it, might as well have it to spend.
Fair enough.
Which kind of leads us into this one quite well. Number 81, Shades of Grey.
But today there is no day or night. Today there is no dark or light. Today there is no black or white. Only shades of gray.
So to me, this song will always be the last song on the Greatest Hits album. It's just that's where it is, because I listened to that record every night as I went to sleep for a couple of years, like growing up.
You had you're the only person I know who had a clock radio with a tape deck.
Yeah,
And you had
I still have it.
made it. Oh, really?
Yeah, still beside my bed.
Amazing. And for a while, you had the loop of "Oh my God, that's the funky shit."
Oh my God, that's the funky shit!
You had made a tape of the CD of the Orange record, the Monkees' greatest hits, right?
Yep. And so I'd listen to that, and if I heard Shades of Grey, I knew something was bothering me because I wasn't asleep yet. So for the longest time, when I hear that piano intro, it like almost like, oh no, what's wrong? Kind of a
You hear
vibe.
that mournful French horn, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, as it goes
I guess
out.
I'm sad. No joke. And for the video that I found for this, it is actually the Monkees Live 2011 at the Fox Theater. I was at this show.
Cool. That's pretty sweet.
And it's a lot of fun. And I remember this. I remember them. Three of them are kind of at the front of the stage, dressed in black. Peter's got the French horn. He plays that part. And
Neat.
it's like it's sort of this deadly serious, dreary kind of song, but they're constantly, and only the Monkees can do this. They are doing silly shit that you might not notice. Like I don't know if I noticed at the show. I don't know if I noticed the first time I watched it online, but today when I rewatched it, Mickey goes during the foolish and the wise. So when he says foolish, he gestures to the other guys, and to the wise, he gestures to himself, which is fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're right. Only the Monkees could rip that off.
For real. But Peter knocks it out of the park. Throughout the song, he's doing different gestures about the dark and the light and everything. But when he gets to the last Shades of Grey, he sort of starts picking at Davy's hair while he's singing. And the crowd roars. And nobody else could do this. It's the Monkees. They're hilarious. Their tunes are great, and we love them. Nothing else is the Monkees.
That's very true, and it's a good point to point out how in like they're one of their most sullen and serious, or at least most favorite sullen and serious songs with the fans. They can still be goofballs while they're singing it, and pull it off.
Yeah. And it's been mentioned that this is sort of like the standout track from Headquarters. There was no actual single that came off of Headquarters, which is weird. And I think that was kind of the label saying, "Okay, boys, did you have your fun? Let's make some records." Because there was no singles. And this is sort of like the album hit, the fan favorite of the album. Like I'm pretty sure you could hear all four of the guys singing on it, and they're playing on it, and everybody loves it. It's a Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil from the Brill Building. So it's a strong songwriting pedigree, and it's a good tune.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Okay, so that brings us now to number 80, and You're So Good.
You're so good to me. I'm hooked on the things you do. You're so good to me. Tell me what can I do for you? When I kiss you, so you kiss, little mama, now can I?
Amazing intro, I think. The verse is like meh. The chorus, fantastic. And again, I feel like it could also maybe be higher because the horns are awesome.
For real. And it's one of the kind of a barrel scraping off of Missing Links Volume 3, but it's a good little number. And it talks about fruit and stuff, which led me to think about, this might be their second best song about apples and stuff. And then I thought, wait, we didn't even put that song on the countdown. And we might have to fix that someday. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. The other Apples song does not match up to this Apples song. I'll tell you right now, with me at least.
Fair enough. You've heard it here first, folks.
It's got highs and lows. This song, it's all over the place.
It's a fun tune, and it's definitely a hidden gem. Okay, so here we are, halfway through our portion of the countdown today, and I got another little stat break for you based on how we rated these songs. We talked about our favorite albums previously, but I'm going to break it down a little farther for you, talk about our favorite sides of the albums.
Ooh.
Based on the numbers, where they landed in the countdown. We average them out, and we come up with some numbers. What do you think your favorite side of a Monkees album is, Paco?
Let me think. Side 1 of Head, I'll go with.
Interesting choice. Let me count you down our top 5 Monkees album sides. Number 5 is The Monkees debut album, side 1. An average score of 58.83. Oddly enough, the Monkees' debut album has our biggest swing because the average score on side 2 is 93.5. Ooh. Yeah, and that is the biggest difference from side to side of any album. At number 4, we have a tie.
Oh.
With exactly 55 average score is side 1 of Birds of Bees Monkees and side 1 of Good Times.
Really? That's interesting.
For really.
Ha. Didn't see that coming.
Up at number 3, side 2 of Head.
There it is.
Average score 49.6.
Nice.
Number 2, side 1 of Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones. Average score 43.5. But dominating the field is side 1 of Head.
Boom.
Boom!
With an average score of 29.75. Paco, you called it.
Crazy.
Here's your crown.
Thank you. Fits perfect.
Just for fun, I also did our least favorite Monkees album sides.
Huh.
Our 5th least favorite Monkees album side is side 1 of Changes, with an average score of 103.3. Our 4th least favorite is Justice, side 2, 106.5. At number 3, we have an interesting tie between Changes, side 2, and Pool It, side 1, both with an average score of 109.4. That's right, the end of the classic Monkees era and the beginning of the reunion Monkees era. We feel similarly not good about.
A bridge to nowhere.
Surprise showing at our 2nd least favorite album side is side 1 of Instant Replay.
Look out.
With an average score of 112.8, but dominating the field. Pool It side 2, average score 131.7, which is what happens when Moving In with Rico and Counting on You are on the same side of an album.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll sink any ship. That's the iceberg.
And one last honorable mention is Monkees' present average score of side 1 was exactly 99. Average score of side 2, exactly 100.
Oh, wow. Wow, they hang out together, those two sides.
No joke.
Wow, that was really cool. That's a good breakdown, Jeff. Very.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thorough.
And
thorough.
Let's get back to the old countdown, Paco.
All right. So this brings us now to number 79, to a favorite of mine, Rosemary.
Get back, Jack.
Rosemary, what's your fate? Can't you see? Straight into Rosemary. Now why don't you quit? Why did he split?
So good. The intro to the song is like a shell game to what the song actually is. Like it has that weird guitar, doom, 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 and then the horns come in, and the horns in the verse are so big and powerful that it like lifts me out of my seat. I love it so much. And Mickey's background vocals are amazing and work well playing off the main vocal. The guitar vocal solo is crazy. when he's just like scatting along to it. And,
Oh, yeah.
and the descending music and vocals at the end are perfect. Such a vibe, this song, I feel.
For real. And it's sung by Mickey Dolenz, written by Mickey Dolenz, and just like a lot of Mickey songs that he writes and sings, it makes me think that one of his primary musical influences is the March of the Pink Elephants from Dumbo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. In my dream of all dreams, I feel like Quentin Tarantino, who appears to be a Monkees fan, because in the book he wrote for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Monkees get mentioned a lot in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I feel if he did a movie and did a soundtrack of all Monkees deep cuts, he would make them magical, and this song would be perfect for an Unreal scene.
God.
Like, it would just be the great. If I ever meet him ever, I'm just like, look, I'm pitching this to you right now. You got to do a song with all Monkees deep cuts because you could kill it. It'd be so great.
Or it's just Quentin Tarantino's head.
Yeah.
With Samuel L. Jackson as Sir David Jones.
Yeah, exactly. I ain't getting the motherfucking dandruff.
That song was pretty white.
You're white, motherfucker. But yeah, great song. Great song.
Tremendous. And I think you like it more than anybody else on earth.
I think so. I think so.
It is a strong tune, and I bet there are some Monkey fans who agree with you.
Yeah. It should. I feel it should be a higher song. But honestly, we go on a run here of songs I think could be higher on this
For real.
countdown.
We're going to eventually have to stop saying, I think this song should be higher, because the songs get pretty good, and we like a lot of Monkey
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, we should have like 3 number 15s or something like that. Just stack them on top of each other.
Amazing.
This song, yeah, so sweet. So is our next song, number 78, Sweet Young Thing.
Oh, well played once again, Your Majesty.
And it's love you bring, no that I can't deny. And with your wings, I can learn to fly, sweet young thing. People try to talk
Man, Sweet Young Thing, obviously from the first record, one of the first songs when you start getting into the Monkees. If you're going with the show in an order, kind of, it's one of the first Mike tunes you're accustomed to, and that fiddle intro sounds like the first moments when an acid trip goes sideways. Like,
Little fuzzy guitar in the background with a fiddle going on.
man, it's
It
crazy.
is pretty wild.
It's crazy.
And yeah, you're right, because when we started getting into the Monkees, watching it on Much Music back in the early 90s, my mom was like, oh, I got a couple Monkees records, and we had the Monkees and more of the Monkees on vinyl. And what? It's these guys on that show I'm watching. And it was neat to see, in brackets, Nesmith, beside one of the tunes on each side.
Yeah.
And like, once you start getting into that, you see it's over, man.
Yeah. This is one of the highlights when you start going a little bit deeper into the Monkees and you see what Nez brings to the table. Sweet Young Thing is a great kickoff.
For real. He co-wrote this with Jerry Goffin and Carole King. I don't know if they sort of polished up the lyrics or something, but it's a fun tune, and it's pretty cool. We pulled it back on episode 14, and I think you do some of your famous sound work.
Yeah, how can you not? How can you not make noises
And it's
when you hear this song?
I think it's the song that they sing into the phone during Find the Monkees, the audition episode.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like an iconic tune within the show itself. And so it's a Mike song. It made it on TV.
Yeah.
Good for Mike.
It's a song that, one of the rare Mike songs, early songs, that was on a record and in the show and really got some legs to it. So this brings us now to number 77, another favorite, Daddy's Song.
Years ago I knew a man
wrong earlier when I said that Cuddly Toy was Peak Davy. This is Peak Davy.
Man, it's fantastic. I can't say for sure why I like it as much as I do, but it is so great. I love it. It's like the video part for it during Head, where Davy's in the white and black suits, and it's cutting between each scene. And it's a great trick, feels ahead of its time. Might have been done like in the French New Wave, and that's like where they stole it from or something. But
For
it's
real.
a really cool visual scene. The song is really good. And
Yeah, it speaks to Davy's skills as the song and dance man, having to hit his marks,
exactly.
different outfits, and be like, do the exact same thing, and it really matches up.
Yeah.
It's tremendous.
And he's the only monkey that could have done that, to hit those
Yes.
dance moves the ways. Like, I can't see Mike doing it, or any of them really doing it, because Davey like believes in it. You know what I mean? And he's killing it, and it's great.
Yeah, and it's another Harry Nilsson song, our third of the day. How about that?
Yeah, the hat trick.
But right in the middle of the Monkeys experience, Harry Nilsson, folks.
Yeah,
And the bird that Davy dances around with in Head is Tony Basil. Or Tony Basil. Tony Basile. I don't know. She's also an Easy Rider, and she also has a hit song called Mickey.
yes,
Which apparently is not about Mickey Dolenz, which is kind of a
Whatever.
bummer. But it's also a remake of a song called Kitty, so it's not even an original. Did you know that?
no, I did not know that.
Boom.
Is it just the same song but with Kitty instead
Yeah.
of Mickey?
Yeah, like a guy singing about a girl instead of a girl singing about a guy.
Oh, kitty, what a pity you don't understand. You take me by the heart when you take me by the hand. Oh, kitty, you're so pretty, can't you understand? It's girls like you, kitty. Oh, what you do, kitty, oh, kitty. Don't break my heart, kitty.
Weird. I'm definitely now going to sing that song to my cats now that I know that.
Kitty, you're so fine.
Yeah. You are such a fine feline. Hey, kitties.
I don't know if that's the lyrics, but they should be.
Should be. And with this song at the end of it, that muted trumpet. And when it kind of goes off and does its own thing,
yeah.
man, that kills me. And then also we have to mention there is a version of Mike singing this song,
Oh, yeah.
which is also really great.
Years ago, I knew a man. He was my mother's biggest fan. We used
It's got him. It's almost him singing through a phone. It sounds like,
For real,
and,
yeah. Gramophone kind of sound.
yeah, but it really works. I'm not saying it works as well as the Davey one, because the Davey one's just perfect. But it's cool to have this other version with Mike and to know that he still makes it work. So it shows the song is that good.
Definitely.
So here we are, number 76. We've got another early banger. Tomorrow's going to be another day.
Tomorrow's gonna be another day. Hey, 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 hey. And I don't care what you say. Tomorrow's gonna be another day. Hey, 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 hey.
This song definitely is trying to cash in on the Clarksville cow, it seems.
It's Boyce and Hart once again bringing the rock and roll. And it's another one of those songs that might even predate the Monkees project itself. Mm-hmm. Just might be one of those tunes they had kicking around was, hey, let's try this one. But it reminds me of the song that David St. Hubbins and Nigel Tufnell in the diner kind of recounting the first song they wrote together.
All the way home.
All the way home. All the way home.
All the way
It's like
home.
it's got that kind of vibe to it. Like sort of like that skiffle bluesy influence.
Yeah. It's not a bad song, but again, it sounds so much like other really great songs that it kind of gets pushed around.
Yeah, it's not like it doesn't have a ton to say. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is what it is. And whatever, it works. It's fine.
Yep.
And like you said, it was on the first album.
Yep.
I don't think it was the B-side to anything. It was just there. It's just a tune.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
As far as filler goes, it's high quality filler, I would say.
Could say that.
Yeah. All right, so now we'll get to number 75. Another song about a car. Little MGBGT.
Lately my mind is drifting back to former days that used to be. I think about some folks I knew and of my
sung by Peter, written by Peter, and didn't even make it onto an album. And I think this was, I don't know if it was an honorary slip-in or we realized because it was a B-side of a single, we had to put it in the countdown automatically. But as the B-side, The Heart and Soul.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun Peter song from like the 86 era. Song about a car, rock staple.
I think it was the car he bought with his monkey money. Like you look it up online, you'll find pictures of it from like Tiger Beat magazine or whatever.
Okay. And it's got a cool horn solo in it. And it just seems to go over the same ground over and over again, essentially. And but the harmonies are really great in it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the version I got on the countdown online is the live version recorded in Toronto.
Yep.
And the crowd seems to dig it.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a great live song, for sure. It's yeah. It's just it's a cool jam, but doesn't get my motor running, if you know what I mean.
Oh my, MGBGT. Possibly placed a little too high on the podcast Valley Sunday Randomatic Countdown.
With those other songs we just were talking about, and this one pops up here, you're like, oh, okay, I could see how this could be shuffled around. But
there you have it.
Maybe we'd do that if we had our own world, which we do at number 74 with Our Own World.
And you're a dreamer just like me. We don't need reality. We're in our own world. We're in our own world. We're in our own world that nobody else can see.
And this is an Adam Schlesinger song.
Yep.
That Mickey sings.
Yeah,
on Good Times. And it's very much, if you're familiar with the Adam Schlesinger style with his band Fountains of Wayne, or his work on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, he's a absolute pop craftsman.
Yep.
At least he was till he suddenly passed away, which was an extreme bummer.
Yeah, he was the first celebrity COVID passing that I remember. It was
For
crazy.
real. It was heartbreaking.
It was.
Because, you know, he's the architect of this third, fourth, fifth Monkeys comeback.
Yeah.
And he had a lot to do with the album even happening.
Yep.
And this song is very much indicative of his style, the singing and the oohs and ahs, and the McCartney-esque bass line. And it's just a lot to dig about this tune, man.
Yeah, definitely. It captures the Monkees vibe in a much better way than like older quote unquote Monkey songs do.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that whole album essentially does, but it's a great tune, fits well.
It could be on the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. So we'll come down now to number 73. We got Cripple Creek.
Well, I married a wife in the month of June, married her up by the light of the moon. We live down on Cripple Creek, we've been down there about a week. I'm going down to Cripple Creek, I'm going on a run, going down to Cripple Creek to have some fun. Going down to Cripple Creek, I'm going on a run, going down to Cripple Creek to have some fun.
Yes, guy.
Live staple of Peter's. The banjo work, outstanding. He's such a great banjo player. And
It's fantastic. I don't think they ever didn't do Cripple Creek when I saw them live with Pete.
yeah, exactly. He has such a good time playing it. Like the joy on him is amazing, and he just rips the Joe solo like no one else can.
For real. This is one of my honorary slip-ins back in episode 32, and it also features on our first ever Zoom episode, which was the Pool It live review, and that crowd gets way into this tune.
They do, yeah, they love it. They love it. And I say it's not a song I reach for when I'm trying to set the mood for love or anything like that, but it's definitely a fun song to throw on.
For real. Yeah, it's just indicative of Pete and his style, where he's coming from, and it's such a lot of fun. It makes you want to call Peter Pete a lot, which I had noticed I did a couple times, only talking about this song.
Yeah.
Why that is, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Me neither. No one does.
But what do you know, Paco?
Oh, well, I know what I know. And what I know is at number 72 is I Know What I Know.
I know what I know, and what I know is I know nothing without you. I know what I see, and what I see is I see nothing without you.
This is a good track from Good Times, and it fits better with older Monkey songs than it would have with the younger Monkeys, I think. Like,
yes, there's a maturity to it.
yeah, exactly. And it has an uplifting yet somber vibe to it, which is a very Nez move.
Definitely. There's like a lot of wisdom and experience just in the voice and the arrangement. And this was the last song we pulled out of the Wool Had a Mystery. And I think it was a tremendous pull.
Yeah. It was a lot better than it could have been, that's for sure.
For sure. Gonna buy me a dog. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. How did teeny tiny gnome get in here?
On the countdown list online, I found like a version 2 of it with like more backing instruments and some sort of synth wash kind of stuff and a beat and all this. But I think it's just gorgeous the way it is on the album with the strings and the piano.
Yeah, no, it's a good song for sure. It's good, clean fun is what that song is, which is also what our next song is at number 71, Good, Clean Fun.
There's a smile on the wind as it touches my face and starts to erase all the gloom. And the sun with a kiss begins to dismiss the memory of my life without you.
So this song jumps out of the gate like a demo for Hee Haw or something. And it's just like, what's going on here? And then it's not as abrasive as most country songs are by any means.
Wow.
And the banjo, like we said before, is fantastic. The story of the song is pure Nez, and it's great. And I'm sure we're going to talk about this too, but this is what they opened with at the Mike and Mickey show in Toronto.
Damn right I was going to talk about it. I'm glad you brought it up.
And I remember when the show started and this started, I was like, oh, what's going on? But then by the end, when Mike says, I told you I'd come back and here I am, and the whole crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
He
hadn't been back to Toronto since the 60s,
Yeah.
not with the First National Band, not with nothing.
Yeah.
So it was incredible. Like, I don't even think we knew that,
No.
going into the show, that Mike had not been back. And we get to see him. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
When it got to that moment, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a night, because they put some thought into this set. It's not just like, oh yeah,
It's
throw
not
the hits
Clarksville
out.
all night.
Yeah. And it again, I've said this many times, one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was probably like the happiest at a show, or one of the happiest I've ever been at a show, was that Mike and Mickey show. It was transcendent.
Oh, yeah. The Monkees know who's coming to their shows in the 21st century, and if you're buying a ticket to see the Monkees, you've got all the songs, man, and you're into it. You're way into it.
Yeah, and they know it, and they killed it. And yeah, again, starting off with that song, I was like, what? And then by the end of the song, I was like, oh, here we go. And that song never, or that show never took its foot off the gas and just kept killing it.
No joke, man. It was hit after hit and such a good time.
Yeah.
And not hit after hit, but like awesome tune after awesome tune. And this one particular one is written by Mike and sung by Mike, and it appears on the Monkees Present, and was, as mentioned earlier, a single with Mommy and Daddy on the B side. And Good Clean Fun made it all the way up to number 82 on the Billboard chart.
Yeah, wow.
With an anchor.
For sure.
Which brings us to our final song of the day, Paco.
Yep.
And this is a pretty strong song. One of our discoveries off a reunion era album that turns out to be pretty strong.
Yeah, with Midnight. With this song, I'll admit, I didn't even remember it existed at all. And then when we pulled it and listened to it, it knocked my socks off and is probably my favorite song off of Pool It.
Saying something.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck there getting in. But,
Yeah. But
don't you have Pool It on vinyl?
I do have Pool It on vinyl. I do. I found it way back when at a used record store. And yeah.
Have you ever listened to it? Did you ever put it on?
Oh, yes.
Maybe once or twice?
Oh, yes. I've definitely went through it a few times. Recently, I've listened to the whole thing. I put Midnight on a few times just on vinyl, just dropped the needle.
Attaboy.
And this song, I was looking at it, and the person who wrote it, I don't have their name here, but he also put out a version of this song himself singing it. The verse is dark. The chorus is stellar. And the drummer is named Curly Smith, which is rad in its own right.
Tremendous.
But it's, yeah, so good. And then the guy who wrote it, he's got his own version. You can find it out there. I'll see if I can find it. It was tricky to download it. But he's got a very high voice.
He's going to send you a personalized letter, I think.
I hope so. Well, this guy, he's written for Springsteen. He's written for Mark Knopfler. He's written for like a whole bunch. They have the list of people he's written for on his little bio.
No shit.
Yeah, man. He's a heavy hitter in the world of music.
Wow.
It's a great song. It's a hidden gem. And I think it's a great way to end off today's show with Midnight.
Yeah. It takes like a minute to get to the chorus, and it ends forever, like most 80s songs.
Yeah.
So it's about a minute and a half longer than it needs to be, I'd say. But hey, it's like a 80s Miami Vice shit gone wrong kind of story.
Yeah,
John David.
John
That's
David.
his name.
And yeah, and it doesn't sound like a Monkey song, that's for sure. But it's just a great song. So it doesn't matter to me that it doesn't sound Monkeys-esque because it's so good.
For real. And yeah, it's a rare kind of a narrative Monkey song that tells an actual story.
Yeah. And it's rad. Rad. Which
can't get much more 80s than that.
Yeah. Which is a really great spot, I think, to wrap up today's show for the Randomatic
It's a
Countdown.
perfect spot. And I can't wait to get going on the next batch of tunes.
Yeah.
Just peeking ahead.
This show here, so everybody knows, this is a show where it goes from like, okay, yeah, this song, it's a song, it's on an album, to like, from here on out, it's bangers, essentially. And they just get more banging.
There's nothing else I'd rather do than hang out with my favorite dude, talking about my favorite band, going to their favorite tunes.
Heck
Am I
yeah,
right?
dude. Heck yeah. And it's only getting better from here.
No joke.
All right, y'all. So, from me, Paco.
And me, Jeff.
Have yourselves a monkey's little evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.